Hello, you guys. I'm back. It's your girl Steph, and welcome back to the Peach Post. And what I want to do is I want to go ahead and get into this episode we had last night. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm thinking I'm going to break down my reviews into mini videos, just because there was a lot of stuff that happened in that particular episode. So I want to make sure I cover as many topics as I can. So it's probably going to be over the course of this week. See the girls, they were in Greece. They've been in Greece since the episode prior. This is the episode immediately following, Nene's attempt, I guess, at trying to be genuine or extend an olive branch to Kenya in the previous episode, as she said she did. Okay, as I'm watching the show. I'm watching the show play out and everything. I'm kind of in there and out there. I'm going to be completely honest, I had not fully watched it in the detail that I normally would because I was taking care of some other things. But as I'm watching it, I did the first time initially, I missed some of the shade that was supposedly thrown at Cynthia from Kenya. I just didn't see some of it at first because it was very subtle at first, honestly. And it kind of looked like producers were really trying to push that on us. Like they were throwing in captions and stuff. When at some points, it really wasn't even Kenya shading Cynthia. It was her shading Marlo.
Mm-hmm. You know what I'm thinking would be good? Do a bottle and put a picture of me on it. That would be great branding.
Maybe for one of my more high-end brands. I'll tell you what was selling.
And it kind of looked like producers were really trying to push that on us. So that's what threw me off. And that's why upon watching the episode the very first time, I did not catch all of the shade that they were trying to show us, because at some point it kind of looked like it was being forced on us, honestly, at first initially. But I was on Twitter. And while I was on Twitter, I just decided to just start tweeting in the moment, how I felt about stuff. I didn't add anybody specifically or anything like that. I was just tweeting about my feelings about the show and how I was reacting to it and what I was seeing happen as it was playing out, right? So during that time, as I'm tweeting and stuff, I see that, Kenya Moore is also on the internet. She's sharing things, she's liking things, she's sharing things, whatever. And one of the tweets that she actually quoted and retweeted was this one right here. Quoted a tweet that says, "If y'all can't see, Porsha and Tanya are the fakest chicks on this show. Y'all need glasses, goggles, and LASIK. Clearly reaching with this Cynthia and Kenya wine nonsense. Hashtag Real Housewives of Atlanta." Okay. So at some point in time, Kenya Moore actually retweeted this tweet, and she actually put the little screaming emoji, which means "say it louder" for those in the back or whatever. I don't know. It pretty much says that basically. So that's what it's saying, right? Basically insinuating that she agrees with this statement, basically. And she agrees that also Porsha and Tanya are fake as hell ever. Like they're the fakest chicks on the show. Okay. Let me explain to you guys why I agree with this, okay? I agree with this because of their actions, okay? And now I'm gonna explain both of these people why I believe this. I believe this because I feel like Porsha is not genuine at all about her caring and loving so much for Cynthia. Something about it just came off weird to me. And I know like some of you guys are gonna be like, "Oh, but Porsha's just putting her in her place, and Porsha's just telling her." Very convincing when you're just watching it, if you don't realize the history these people have with each other, if you're not a really avid fan of the show, if you haven't really been watching it to really truly understand like what their history is. Now to go from also, almost fighting this woman before to years of calling this woman a flip-flopper to, years of pretty much just dissing this woman behind her back for years and all this other stuff. It's kind of hard to believe, to me, for me at least, for me as a person, it's kind of hard for me to believe that she's just so genuinely concerned about the friendship that Cynthia has with Kenya, and that she's so concerned about this wine stuff. In her interviews, making it seem like that Kenya was somehow destroying Cynthia Bailey's business or her brand because she's making it seem like she doesn't know about the wine industry. Like Porsha doesn't know about a lot of things that she's done on television that could destroy her image. So it's just like there's a lot of things she doesn't understand. So it's just like kind of confusing to me that she's so I can't even really see her formulating that opinion on her own based on the things that have come out of her mouth. I can't really see her even drawing those lines that easily without some kind of assistance herself. So based on their previous actions, I just don't find them to be as genuine, especially just not when it comes to Cynthia. I just feel like I can see if they had an established relationship with Cynthia, like we've actually seen them doing things with Cynthia outside of the TV show. I've never seen Porsha and Cynthia hanging out, you guys. Have you guys ever seen that? Have you guys ever seen them off camera, off season, at any point in time, spending any time with each other? I've seen her with NeNe. I've seen her recently spending plenty of time and vacations and everything else with Tanya, but I've never seen Porsha and Cynthia hanging out and hanging out to the extent of me being able to honestly believe that they truly have a genuine friendship, and she's so concerned about Cynthia. Cynthia is not a puppy. Cynthia is a grown woman, a successful woman, a successful former supermodel. Like, she has so many different achievements and accomplishments that she has to her name, and rightfully so. For her to be a puppy dog, or for them to act like she is one, it's disgusting to me. And I don't understand why she even buys into that shit herself. Like, why does she even play into that at all? That I'm not going to discount that I feel like, there was a little bit of shadiness on Kenya's part, but I do at the same time, I genuinely can see that she cared. Like that, and that's the difference between her and NeNe, is NeNe cannot apologize. Kenya can. Kenya apologizes over and over again, or relentlessly, whenever she feels like she hurt Cynthia. She always addresses it. She always apologizes, versus NeNe, who instead turns around and makes it about what the other person did back as a reaction. And that's the reason why I'm like, this whole dynamic of friendships, the word friend is so loosely used with these group of women. And I understand it's a television show. It's a television show, sure. But these are also real women. These are public figures. And these women are, they're presenting themselves as a standard for Black women. They're presenting themselves as a standard for friendships, as a standard for, successful women. They are women that people do look up to. So it's like on one hand, it's like, oh, you're taking it too seriously. This is a television show. No, it is, but these are also real women, and they actually do have influence over millions of women. I do believe that the way that these two were interacting, the way that they were carrying on about the Cynthia and the Kenya thing, as far as the wine comments are concerned, I feel like it was really forced. I feel like it was very fake. I can't see it being genuine, just because these women don't have that type of relationship with Cynthia in the first place. I feel like had anybody else said this, had anybody else done this, it would not have turned into a storyline. It would not have turned into as big of a thing as it did. And I feel like that's partly why you saw Kenya suddenly become withdrawn later on during the same episode. She starts to look a little withdrawn, because she's not dumb at all. Kenya's one of those people where she can kind of scan the energy in the room, and even though sometimes the energy in the room is hers, she ain't perfect. Okay, and I'm not one of those. I'm not a stan. I'm a fan, so I can call her out when she's wrong too. So I know that she's able to take a step back and know when there's some shit going on that's not right. And I feel like at some point in time on this particular episode, and during this time while they were in Greece, she realized that something was going on, and it was something beyond her. And I think she was able to tell that the energy had changed, and the mood had shifted. I think she could tell that something was going on, and people were talking about her behind her back. Okay, now the reason why I feel like Tanya's a little bit faker too, and the reason why I'm agreeing with that as well, is because, again, Tanya just kind of goes with the wind. Tanya, although she's a beautiful woman, and so is Porsha, and both successful women in their own right, but at the end of the day, both of them are very flighty. I feel like their friendship with each other is so based on convenience. For instance, look at Tanya's friendships, you guys. Like, everybody joked about it, like, oh, she used to be NeNe's friend. They used to title her NeNe's friend when she first came on the show. Then it switched to Eva's friend. Then it switched to Porsha's friend.
Thank you.
So what are you up to?
Then she was Eva's good friend.
Yes, you naturally stop.
Hello, gorgeous. How are you? Now she's my friend.
It's a joke at first, but when you really think about that, who does that? What kind of genuine person does that? Can you name one that does that just jumps from friend to friend like that inside of a group? When have you seen Eva and Tanya hang out together since that season where she needed someone to be around? Because she got brought on the show with NeNe, but NeNe wasn't really talking to Tanya like that. NeNe was kind of annoyed with Tanya. So it's like for her to continue being aired on the show, continue to tape on the show, she had to be friends with somebody. So she went ahead and started hanging out with Eva. But have you really seen her checking up on Eva, making sure she's good, checking on her during her pregnancy? Like when Eva recently came out and stated that people who checked on her about her pregnancy off camera, the only people she mentioned were Candy, Kenya, and Cynthia. She never mentioned Tanya. But Tanya is really getting all of this airtime right now in season 12 because she got all the airtime last season from being friends with Eva. And so now that Eva's taking a little out of the background right now because she's pregnant this whole season and we didn't see her, we saw twice as much of Tanya than we did last season, you know? And not to mention the way she flipped on Nene. Again, Nene's the one who brought her on the show. Everybody's, Tanya's just a ray of sunshine. Tanya has some fake ways to her. She is not no ray of sunshine. She is a whole shadow of mess. And honestly, it just kind of makes me question her character as well. You know, so I just it's kind of crazy to me that people will assume that they are so genuinely concerned about Cynthia. So no, I don't believe that. I feel like they were forcing it. I feel like they were reaching. I feel like they were doing the most. Was some of the stuff shady that Kenya did or said to Cynthia? Could have been. Yes. It could have been. Yes. She could have delivered it better. Yes. I'm not going to say that she couldn't have. You know what I mean? But I don't think at the end of the day that she can look back at that and be proud of it and not want to reach out to her friend. She would have taken care of that on her own. She would have addressed her friend on her own, or Cynthia would have. Now, at the time, Cynthia even said she didn't even catch it as shade. But once enough people keep coming to you and pressing the issue, as they clearly were doing, because she told them, once she told them she didn't see it a certain way, it could have been dropped right there. But instead, they want to drill it in her head. Yes, she was. Yes, she was. She was doing this. Did you catch this? Did you catch that? She might have not even noticed some of the stuff they were saying that she supposedly said to her. Eventually, it's like, yeah, you know what? I think that did hurt my feelings. I think that, no, Cynthia, what happened? Did it hurt your feelings or not? If it didn't bother you, it didn't bother you. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like they pushed it because they are fake. Like, I have no other way to put it. They go whichever way the wind blows. And that is because in Tanya's case, she needs to stay on the show. And in Porsha's case, that is who Porsha is. Porsha will attach herself to whoever is hot at that moment. That's who she is. And that's just the way she's shown herself to be, like over the course of years. Now, if that ever changes, I'll take it back. But that is my observation of that woman at this point in time. Attaching herself to Phaedra, and Phaedra's fraudulent as hell, turning her back on Shamia, who she's been friends with since she was a little girl. That's fucked up. You don't see genuine people do stuff like that. And that's pretty much where I'm at with this. Like, I'm gonna probably try to end it here. Now, one last thing I do want to say though, I'm gonna go back to that tweet that started this whole little rant. That tweet that I shared with you guys earlier, that Kenya quoted stating that Porsha and Tanya are the fakest chicks on this show. Okay, all of that stuff. If you go to the replies under this tweet, people were actually accusing this person of being Kenya. So that just means you can't even speak in favor of Kenya. And this person, by the way, they did not even at Kenya. They just used the RHOA hashtag, and that's how it came up, I'm assuming, in her feed. And that's what made her retweet it, okay? So she didn't even this person did not even at Kenya necessarily, or at any of the ladies from the Housewives. They just hashtagged RHOA. And you cannot even speak against status quo. You cannot speak up for Kenya in defense of her, or speak, against the people who are against her. Even if you're not necessarily speaking for her, but you're just trying to say, like, you don't agree with some of the stuff that other people are doing that are going at her, without someone assuming or trying to paint this narrative that she doesn't have any friends, that she doesn't have any support, that she does not have any fans, that nobody loves her, nobody cares about her. And it goes back to that whole her mom stuff. It goes back to the fake men stuff, all those rumors. It kind of goes back to that. They assume she can't have anybody, not even a fan. She can't have a mom. She can't have a real husband. She can't have a real man. She can't have a real boyfriend. Everybody's got to be paid. Everything's got to be fake. It got to be hired. So they're even accusing this person who made this tweet of being Kenya. They're like, hey, Ken, is that you? Or hi, Kenya. We know this is your fake page. Well, here, let me go ahead and clear the error on that subject right there. BossUpSis.com is me.
Hello, motherfucker.
So that was my tweet. Okay. And First of all, I ain't taking the shit back. That's how I felt at the moment. Like I said, I didn't watch the whole show at the time. You know, maybe I would have reacted a little bit differently, but from first glance, that was how I took it. I felt like they was faking. I felt like they was reaching. I put the tweet out. All the damn people talking about housewives. I did not think that Kenya Moore would be the one who would see that damn tweet that I sent out and share it. But by the way, since you guys are here and since some of you guys saw that tweet and apparently it's going to be in some blogs or whatever else, let me go ahead and just say, if you are interested, you can check out my website. It's bossupsis.com, where I do think pieces on women empowerment and on how to boss up your life, how to be a more confident, more secure woman, how to secure your bag while also remembering who you are and readjusting your crown, because I do write pieces of inspiration for women. I love women. I love to empower women. I love to build women up. I don't like to tear women down. So I don't want you guys thinking that just because I talk against your favorite housewife, I'm tearing your housewife down. I'm not doing that. I am expressing my opinion as I am able to do, because like I said in my previous videos, everything as it comes to housewives is subject to perception. So if you don't like it, you don't have to like it. Talk to you in my next video. Bye. As always, thank you for watching The Peach Post.